Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm super duper excited for today's video because we have a new fragrance release that I was so excited when I saw, and it's going to be a first impressions type of video on the new Burberry Goddess. I got my hands on a travel size set, so I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts on how I feel about this fragrance, but this is like a first impression, so keep that in mind. If you are new here and you love anything girly, makeup, fragrance, body care, self-care, go ahead and subscribe because that's pretty much all that I talk about on this channel, and I would love to have you back for my future uploads. And with that said, let's jump right into the first impressions. I knew nothing about this fragrance. I did not know that this was going to be released, and funny enough, I went to the PX here on the base. It's like a store inside of military bases, and they have perfumes all the time, and they usually have like good perfumes, like sometimes hard to find perfumes, sometimes even discontinued perfumes. So I always walk around, I always look around, and I saw this fragrance there and I was like, am I tripping? I'm like, I don't think I've ever heard of Burberry Goddess. I was like, is this like an old fragrance or something? Like, I just kind of looked at it, but I just kept on walking. And then later on that evening, I go on Sephora, or not even on Sephora. Where did I go? I think someone DM'd me on Instagram showing me the fragrance. Something like that. I don't remember. Or someone asked me on YouTube, and I was like, wait a second, this is a new release fragrance. So then I literally just hopped on Sephora, saw that they had the travel set. So instead of getting like just the travel set, which was like I think $38 or something like that, for $1 more you got the dabber and the spray. I'm not a fan of dabbers, but I was just like, you know what, it's $1 more. So I went ahead and got this one. It kind of shows you like how the full size bottle would look. So I just wanted to do a first impressions. I did wear, as you can see, there's like a little dent missing. I wore this fragrance yesterday during the day. I took a shower. I put it on for bed. So I have a few things to say about it. This is not a review because I like to make that clear. I like to do like first impression videos and then down the road kind of do like a full update, letting you guys know how I feel about it, because I have noticed after all these years of doing fragrance reviews that I might feel a certain way about a fragrance today, and then I wear it 2-3 times and my opinion totally changes or the fragrance changes. So this is not a review. This is my first impressions, what I get on the first few sprays, all of that. So as you can see, there is a bit missing there. I've been wearing it, and just to get like straight to the point, I want a full-size bottle of this. Now, there's a lot to go over. I did take a few notes, so we're going to go over the main accords, the notes. I'm gonna go over the notes that I wrote down. So the main accords for this fragrance, they literally only have 2 on Fragrantica. I would actually add a few. So they only have vanilla and lavender as the main accords, but I'm going to add a little bit of spiciness in there at some point, a little bit of like a chocolatey touch at some points as well. So I would add vanilla, lavender, a little spiciness, and a little cacao, chocolatey vibe to it. So that is like what I would add if I was giving the main accords. Also like an aromatic type of vibe for a little bit. And another thing I wanted to point out, I have not watched any reviews on it. I have not read anything on it. I just read the notes and the main accords because I wanted to really just keep this kind of like my first impressions, and then afterwards have my fun, watch reviews. I love to hear other people's opinions on the fragrance. So the top notes are vanilla, lavender, cacao, and ginger. And then the middle notes are vanilla caviar, and the base note is vanilla absolute. When I saw how much vanilla was in this fragrance, I was just like, I need to try this out. Like, I would not have been as interested in trying it out if it wasn't for all of that vanilla that it's claiming to have. So I got it in the mail, and of course I ripped open my Sephora box and I literally just sprayed it on. And I actually don't have fragrance today, so this is what I'm going to be wearing today. Let's fill up our space. I like it. The first thing I'm gonna say is this was not a love at first sniff for me. This was more, I need to get to know you. Like, it was like a date. Like, I was like asking him, like, what is your favorite color? What do you like to do for fun? Like, I really had to take the evening yesterday I just kept on sniffing my hand. It really is a hard fragrance for me to describe. Like, I feel like it's a simple fragrance, but then at the same time, it has some complexity to it. I get the lavender, but it's this beautiful feminine lavender. I did look at the section where it said like this perfume reminds me of on Fragrantica. But of course, the first one that was listed was Mon Guerlain by Guerlain. And I will say towards the dry down, I can see how they can be like similar. I can see how they can be kind of like compared to each other. But when you first spray this on, I don't think that it's a Mon Guerlain dupe or that it smells like Mon Guerlain. There is something about it that will remind you of Mon Guerlain, but I feel like this one has more of this feminine like sexiness to it that Mon Guerlain doesn't have. Mon Guerlain to me is more classy, sophisticated. It's still beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. To me, it's like a comforting scent. This one has like a flirty side to it, and not flirty as in pink and girly, just, you know, it has like this very feminine sexiness to it while still being vanilla, sophisticated, classy. This for the holidays, like that was the first thing that I thought was like this fragrance for the holidays is going to be like used for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, for colder weather, for going out like when it's cold. I feel like it's perfect. It's just so feminine to me. So I literally just went into this and I didn't even read my notes. But let me see what I have on my notes. Okay, so I put that it opens up with a lot of lavender and it's aromatic. I also got the ginger without even, when I first sprayed it, like I forgot about the notes. I just remembered that it had a bunch of vanilla in it. But I did get something that I'm like, what is that? Like there's something else that I'm getting, and it was like this spiciness, and it's that ginger. And adding that ginger to this fragrance, I think makes it stand out from other fragrances. It's not a cupcake vanilla. It's not super gourmand to me. Honestly, when it first opens up, it's not gourmand to me. It's more of sexy, sophisticated, classy, feminine. She's just beautiful, and she has this vanilla yumminess to her. That's what I get. When it starts going more towards the dry down, it starts getting sweeter, and a little bit more of that gourmand side starts coming through. But I don't think that this fragrance in the entire longevity of it is something that I would consider super gourmand, because to me, a gourmand fragrance is something like cupcakes, cake, chocolate. Those aspects, like that vanilla and that chocolatey kind of like texture to it, are in here. But the lavender makes it just, it smells like a perfume, and it's not in a bad way. It's just, it smells expensive. It smells like you are just super put together. I would wear this like dressed up, even though I would also wear it like in an evening, like where I want to be cozy as well. But I feel like it's a little bit more dressed up without it being too much either. It's gorgeous. It's smooth. But when it comes to longevity, I don't know how this is going to do. But I wore this last night to bed and I sprayed myself. I sprayed my PJs. I sprayed my skin. I sprayed everywhere. And I feel like it didn't last as long as other fragrances. Like when I wake up in the morning, I can still smell myself. And with this one, I can still smell myself, but it was super close to the skin. So I don't think longevity wise, it's like a banger. I feel like it has like moderate longevity, but it dries down. Like the dry down of this is so yummy and so beautiful and so beautiful. Feminine. Like goddess is just such a perfect name, because it's literally like a woman that just, she's a goddess. Like literally the way that this smells, I love it. I give this I would give this a 10 because of the way that it's put together. It's not reminding me of every single release out there. There are so many releases that I will buy a travel size of that just kind of smell the same or remind me of something else. This might give me a small similarity to Mon Guerlain, but they were not trying to dupe Mon Guerlain. They were not trying to copy it. They did their own thing with it. And the ginger has like a big role in it, because it's not an in-your-face ginger. It's not super duper spicy, but there's like a little kick to it that just, it made it so beautiful. I also wrote that the cacao is also noticeable in here, but it isn't overly sweet. And the vanilla also isn't overly sweet until very deep into the dry down. It did start getting much more sweeter. This just makes me feel super feminine and sexy. It's one of those. I would put this in my list with like, you know, you have like those casual fragrances, and then you have those fragrances that you want to wear when you want to feel super feminine, like Jimmy Choo, I want to Libre Le Parfum for me. Those are just fragrances that I would not reach for like on a regular day. I would reach them for like when I really want to feel super sexy, super feminine, seductive. That's just like what this makes me think of, but it's vanilla. So it's like one of my favorite notes, just comforting, cozy, creamy. And another thing that I am super duper happy and thankful for, I don't see like jasmine being listed as a note, and I don't feel like there's any white florals coming through. So for that, big thank you to Burberry, because I'm sick of like all of the releases having this super strong sharp jasmine. I know that many people love jasmine, but then there's also a lot of us who just cannot stand a fragrance that is like super heavy on the jasmine. It just is headache inducing. Sometimes it could work, but for the most part it just doesn't. So when I saw that this didn't have that, I was just like, thank you Jesus, because this is beautiful. This is so beautiful. It's aromatic to me as well. It makes me feel like, it puts me in the mood for the holidays and for like festivities and for like nighttime events and just feeling really, really pretty. That's just what I think of with this. To me, this is not a super gourmand fragrance. I'm not sure how everyone else is going to take this fragrance, but to me, it has more. It's giving you vanilla, the yumminess of vanilla, but it's not a straight up like you could eat this vanilla. It's not cupcakey. At first, I was kind of putting this also in like that category of like Billie Eilish, but Billie Eilish definitely needs more gourmand. It has more spices and the vanilla's in there. But it's still kind of like more towards the gourmand. This one is more towards the pretty like perfume, sexy vanilla. It's so, the more I wear it, the more like I want to wear it. I'm definitely interested in getting a full-size bottle of this. I'm gonna keep using the travel size just to make sure that nothing changes, but I have a feeling, I mean, this is a new release, so I'm not going to comment too much on the longevity not being too good, because that has happened to me with other fragrances where the longevity is like, it sucks when it first gets released. But I feel like these, especially new releases, I feel like you gotta let it sit for a little bit, let those notes really just develop in the bottle, and I feel like the vanilla is probably gonna be even better, and then it could probably get even more gourmandish with time if you think about it, because that vanilla can really come through. So I need to get my hands on a full-size bottle so that it could just start sitting there and just doing its thing, because this is a gorgeous fragrance. I love it. I will say this though, start off with a travel size if you want to try it out, or either go to a Sephora or go to a department store and try it on. When it comes to vanilla, there's people who just strictly like the super cupcakey vanilla or like the vanilla extract type of vanilla. I don't feel like this is that. I feel like this is more fancy dressed up vanilla. So I would start off with a travel size, because there are some people that I think are not going to be a fan of this. I am picky when it comes to like strong fragrances or fragrances that are heavy with like jasmine or like too perfumey type of perfumes. This is perfumey to me, but it's perfect. It's the perfect amount of that perfume vibe that I want, but with vanilla in it. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts. For those of you who have tried it, I cannot wait to see if you guys are interested, if you guys are loving it. Let's go ahead and let's chat in the comment section about it. And yeah, I'm very excited about it. I definitely recommend it. I never like to like push my approval on a fragrance as a way for you to determine if you want to try it or not, because we are all so different. But if you do watch me and we have similar taste, and a lot of you guys always ask me like, I want to know your opinion first, I love this, and I definitely recommend to at least try it. You know, try a sample or try it on at the store, or get a travel size if you can. It's gorgeous. I love it. And I don't think that it smells like too many things that have came out. And this is the perfect release, in my opinion, for upcoming fall and winter. I'm having like this lineup in my mind of fragrances that I'm going to be rocking this year, and this is one of them. So that brings me to the end of my first impressions on Burberry Goddess. Cannot wait to hear your thoughts. Go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really helps my channel. Comment down below if you're going to be trying it out, if you picked up the travel size, if you already smelled it, what did you think about it? Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you guys in my next video.